friend told me this the other day, and I really do believe it as to why I'm probably going to be single for the rest of my life. It's not love that keeps you in a relationship. It's not really anything other than what you can put up with. And the older I get, the less I can. Like, I'm just like, I'm confident in my little studio apartment, like that I will be okay. And I am getting enough money to get some old people help later on in life.
Sure, putting away for the retirement. Yeah, I got you. Are we doing this? Do we want to go here fully? Is this where we want to go?
We can go there.
Okay. And that's not a challenge. That's just like this is getting to an area of deepness we were not planning to have today, but
true.
We can see how this goes if you want to.
I mean, either way, we can also just talk about voices, and that's fine. Hi, I'm Tim.
And I'm Bear. This is Cub.
And Chub.
Hi, everybody. I know we brought you in like the back end of a conversation, but
yeah,
Tim was feeling it. Tim was flowing. And I was like,
not to mention, like, I don't care to say names. Yeah, I'm not saying that this person is a bad person or anything like that. They just aren't cute enough for the situation. So
sure.
But yeah.
What is your outlook? So again, we're not even talking about topics, so we'll just roll into this real quick. But as you look at this next like moving situation where you go in for work, what are you mentally prepared for? What are you projecting when you get there socially? Are you planning to lay low? Are you planning
go with me because this is going somewhere.
Okay.
I am currently, I actually today just started my diet in which I'm going to be eating very small portions and whatnot in order to lose some weight, to gain some confidence, because whether you think it or not, at least when it comes to me, right now I'm not at a weight that I feel confident in. And it is what it is. Like, I know I'm beautiful, but I'm bigger than I like to be.
Okay.
So when I master my self-confidence, well, honestly, doing the diet helps me with my willpower, helps me with my confidence in myself.
Sure.
So when I have confidence in myself, I am you can't touch me. Like, it is. So there's a meme out there that's like, I'm actually fat for y'all because y'all could never. If I was like, I have a good personality. I'm funny as fuck. I'm smart. I'm quick. And really the only thing holding me back is me in this body. So I'm really fat for y'all. But because y'all say things that you aren't. But it is what it is. But yes, so once I have that self-confidence, I go out with that confidence, that light, that spirit, and I paint the town red. And I now know that painting that town, well, I'm not painting it. But
I was like, I thought you were a little bit more careful. I didn't think that you were a painter, Tim.
And well, you know, when you're in a relationship, which I never am, sometimes things just happen. No,
sure.
I'm gonna back it up on somebody's dad.
That's something.
And enjoy that life. But yeah, like that's my thought for sociability as I move into other areas. So
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I wish the best for you on this journey, as I always do.
Yes.
I'm excited for these things to happen for you.
I'm actually also excited for these next few podcasts because I get emotional on this diet. Like,
Oh, okay, yeah.
the first time I ever did this diet, I quit my job. So,
Oh
yeah,
Lord, okay.
yeah. So, who knows? I mean, I could end up a whole nother career change or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's right. Wild and Feral in Connecticut. I'd listen to that
Exactly.
podcast.
Me and, Lucy are just out here letting loose.
I gotta get a good version of that thing posted. That is just, I made me so happy.
It
I watched
was.
that on
I really
repeat.
committed at that point, and I didn't remember doing that.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no, we were in it. What gets me is when I reply and you double over, like you can't, and then I can't watch you double over, so then I double over and hit it's one of my happy moments of the
yeah.
summer. I watch it occasionally. I'm like, this makes me so happy.
And shout out to Wilmar. He was in the comments of that TikTok talking about he thought you were about to fall over.
Yeah, he's like, I was worried about you, and I was like, I was too. It was touch and go.
Yeah, it was very funny. We are quite the hilarity combo.
We're hilarious. Whenever everybody else picks up on that and we make our first million, we'll thank the
Once
fans
they
for it.
realize that it's the Reed, it's sibling rivalry,
Mhm.
and then us. It really is.
Right there at a tight third.
And then it's everything on mom. But like,
Everything.
yeah,
On
I
Mom.
mean, very Delta. It's not quite where we are.
No, she's working it. Yeah,
It's good. It's very Delta. It's very
Yeah.
that. Race chaser just sounds racist. So
Yeah, Race Chaser's tough.
yeah.
That's a different podcast episode. I think.
Yeah. We should really like revisit the podcast thing. Like
Yeah.
we did the podcast that we love. How about the podcast that we're like,
We're good. Yeah. What podcasts that were like, meh.
Yeah, because I have a few of them that I'm just like, that didn't end well for me. It's still going, but it ended for me. And
Yeah, no, it's no longer with my spirit, if not with
Yeah.
others. So, which is
exactly.
fun. Well, Tim, what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about voices.
Yeah, you want to tell everybody like what inspired you or what the conversation's gonna kind of go towards?
Well,
Because I'm gonna let you drive the ship today. So.
Oh wow. So I don't know how to do that. I'm not a producer.
I trust in you. You got this.
I don't know. You better trust in Jesus. Don't trust in me. I'll leave you by the wayside. Just ask the man. No, but I'm watching a lot of YouTube and specifically the Terrell show on YouTube. It just had so many singers that I love, some that I didn't know, some that I like knew, but I didn't like know that they were doing music still. And it just really like, I don't know, it really triggered something in me. And I was like, we should talk about voices because number one, we have decent voices. I have a decent voice. You have a great voice. Like,
Yeah.
Who better to talk about voices other than people who have some? So
I have some voice. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've talked about music, but I think there's something different between like music that you love and then like voices that you love because it's not always your favorite songs that have your favorite voices.
Correct.
And also, we're not gonna listen. We're going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Whitney Houston, one of the greatest voices of all time.
Of course.
Carey, great voice of all time.
Standard.
Dolly Parton, good voice. Ariana Grande, great voice. Rihanna, vibes. Like these, we know the voices that are like non-arguably the big voices of our parents and our generations, right?
Yeah, and we don't have much to add to that conversation.
Yeah, so like we're not gonna talk about those voices. So if you're in the comments, like you didn't even talk about like the voices, girl, we're not talking about that. So
No.
we're gonna talk about voices that we listen to, some voices that are people maybe our age or like voices that are maybe in the rock era or whatever that Bayer has. I have no idea because we didn't talk before this because apparently I'm driving the ship.
Driving the ship.
So since I'm driving the ship, I'll start with you, Bear.
Okay.
When have you realized, or do you make a distinction between like a song that you love versus a voice that you love?
Yeah. I think there are a lot of songs that I love by people who don't necessarily have great voices, right?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of rock music, uh, because I grew up singing in choir and was trained how to sing quote unquote classically. I
Yeah.
had a loving relationship with rock music, but could not perform rock music.
Mhm.
So if you listen to a lot of my stuff when I was growing up and writing, I'm writing these rock songs, but I'm singing like I'm a tenor one and like really trying. Like I didn't have the voice to do the art that I was listening to. So so I grew to love people like when I was growing up, Eddie Vedder, Lane Staley from Alice in Chains, these guys in like these rock bands that had very distinct voices, but
Mhm.
not like necessarily quote unquote good voices, great singers.
Yeah.
So those are some examples of like songs that I absolutely love by people who have recognizable voices, but voices of a generation, but not necessarily classically trained or anything like that. Compared to like, I think Sade is probably my biggest influence as a kid. Like, I my dad had her. I forgot the name of the album from the '80s, but he had her big hit album from the '80s, and we
Nice.
played that nonstop. No Ordinary Love is like,
Oh, this is no ordinary
yeah.
love.
And
Yeah.
even she's one of those people that drops an album once every 10 years.
Is she also the smooth
Smooth
operator?
Operator,
Okay.
Soldier of Love.
Yeah.
Her voice is so unique and beautiful, but it
Mm,
is not the Whitneys, the Mariahs.
no,
It's sultry.
it's almost like an ethereal soul.
Yeah, it's comforting. It's
Like it's still grounded in the earth, but it's also very almost heavenly.
yeah. And
Yeah.
there's also an element because she's more of an alto.
Yeah.
Also, it's not masculine, but it's not as this completely effeminate thing either. It is
Mm,
motherly and natural, but it is
yeah.
all encompassing.
Yeah.
And I just was absolutely infatuated with her voice growing up. And so she's somebody that I recognize that just has this amazing voice. Even again, if it's not this huge run, 7 octave Mariah Carey kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there are people like even like Celine Dion, people whose entire catalog I don't really know, but
Yeah.
who when
But
I
you
hear
know
like
that voice.
but I know the voice or a signature song by them, I'm like I don't care what you think about Celine or if you're a fan or not. Like that's just an amazing, powerful voice that is once a generation. Once it just doesn't happen like that.
Very nice.
So yeah, I think there's a big distinction between songs and vocalists and where those two things kind of meld together.
Mhm.
What about you?
I realized very early because I was raised in church that just because you're a great performer doesn't mean you have a great voice. A lot of these people in church be out here hollering and commanding the spirit of the Lord or your endorphins, either one. It depends on if you're about science or the Lord. Um,
Yeah.
and they don't have a pitch, they don't have a timbre of anything to speak for it. And then there are other people who just like I feel like the universe spent waking hours thinking about how to like tinker with that box in their throat. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is otherworldly what some people can do with their talent and their, you know, vocal folds. And people like, I mean, it goes without saying, y'all all know, I've said this time and time again, Jasmine Sullivan is my queen.
Yep.
She will forever be on the throne. But people like Amber Riley,
Mm.
her voice is just something that like speaks to me. Miguel is some,
Yeah.
yeah, like you just know his voice. Like most people don't even know most of his catalog, but they know the voice when they hear it.
Yeah.
Banana
Same.
Clip and Adorn. Oh my god, Adorn is so good. Um, but like there's just so many people who have vocal agility and just like an airiness about their sound that it just captivates you in a different way. And it's not necessarily songs that like it's not necessarily like a technically hard song
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. Like it could be just like 10 or 12 words in the song, but they've delivered it in a way that is timeless.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I definitely enjoy, I'm somebody who enjoys vocals over song
Yeah.
choice. Are you somebody that enjoys that a lot?
Um, I don't know. I think it's the great middleman in me that's like I've tried to find again the even when I think about like rap music where it really isn't about the quality of the vocal all the time more than it is
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the delivery
yeah.
and the talent behind the presentation. And there's some rap songs that I absolutely like die on the hill for that I just think are just amazing pieces of vocal talent.
Mhm.
But again, don't fall into this, I think this other kind of like ethereal, beautiful, all encompassing like thing. So I don't know that I have a preference for one or the other. Like I will find that beauty like in that mode depending on what I need. So
Yeah,
yeah.
cool. And a lot of times with voices, you can there's a type of pitch and tone to people's voices, and then other people have texture and like technical ability.
Yeah.
Um, do you have any voices that are like technical that you just love?
So specifically technical, I'm trying to think of an example that comes to mind. I think so. I don't, one person's voice, and I know that we stand for her all the time, but one person, Beyonce, who
Yes.
seems to really be able, and I have a much bigger appreciation for this seeing the live show,
Hmm.
her technical ability, which I don't know has always been captured on an album at all times, especially
No.
depending on the type of like feel she's going for. Sometimes that's not the vibe she
I
doesn't really
also
need that
think
on
it's
the.
developed over time for sure.
It's developed over time. The Beyonce self-titled album is not an album that necessarily always displays her technical. That's not the vibe she's going for.
Yeah.
Um, but seeing that live, where that technical aspect, but also the textual, like
Hmm.
she has a tenor to her voice that is just amazing. And again, when you think about the amount of shows she's doing, the 2.5 hours, and what she's able to do every night, like that is technical. You have
Yeah.
to train, you have to work at having that ability, and that is just amazing. I don't know. What about you?
I mean, I have a lot of technical voices that I love.
Okay.
One of them is my old vocal coach. Jojo Clark. He has such a beautiful tenor of voice, and he's been on a lot of different shows. He's been on like America's Got Talent, and he's just everywhere, and he's amazing. Shout out to him. I miss him.
Nice.
Avery Wilson,
Hmm.
which people like, he was on The Voice,
Okay.
but I don't really know if like, I know that he came out with an album, but it wasn't something that a lot of my voices like, they don't, I don't know what it is about America, but it just isn't showcased. I feel like voices just aren't showcased in a way that I would like to be seen anyway.
Hmm.
But then you have people like Jaden Gray.
Hmm.
He, I can't, I can't like, there's no way to really describe his voice.
Okay.
His falsetto, a lot of people's falsetto isn't trained in a way.
Yep.
It's like he runs marathons in falsetto
Oh wow.
and then has a chest voice that also is just as strong. And it is crazy the things that
Yeah.
he can do. He has a cover of Jealous by Labyrinth
Okay.
that's out there. If you can find it, go find it, because makes me cry every single time, but
Hmm.
also it's just so good. Um, I mean, Duran Bernard, like crazy, like he uses every part of his voice. He uses
Yeah.
the loud, he uses like the soft, he does runs, he does, and it's all a lot of times you have an artist that's branded and their voice is kind of like signature,
Sure.
and they kind of use that voice in every song. Like maybe they get louder or whatever, but their voice is still pretty much recognizable.
Yeah.
Duran Bernard, I don't know. He's like, his yells sound melodic. I don't know. I can't explain it. If you hear it, you'll know it. He's everywhere on my YouTube because
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. But yeah, like that's some of them. I also think that Tori Kelly is one of those technical voices, but is also a voice that like just isn't getting enough just due.
No.
No, like the things she can do is crazy. She's been in the game for years, and I don't know what's going on. But yeah, like those voices, crazy, amazing. Um, but then there's also some voices that I don't want to hear.
Okay, so let's name the offenders.
I don't want to hear the weekend. I don't
Okay,
want to
the
hear Abel.
weekend.
And I know this is unpopular opinion because he's literally the biggest artist on Spotify.
So
Like,
so this is interesting. So do you think that people think he's a good singer? Does he have like a reputation of a good singer?
I think people think he can sing.
Okay, he falls into the area of pop for me where
I think
they can
he's one of
carry a melody, but I don't know that I think of him as like a singer. That's interesting.
I don't think he's a singer. I think he's a whiner.
Yeah.
And I think that it's one of those things that they're shoving down your throat.
Yeah.
Like that show that they had to cancel because nobody was buying it. Like,
Yeah, he's definitely there's a promotional there's
yeah,
a
there's a machine to him.
that I'm
Like
like
he's a
I
plant,
yeah,
but
which I
he
don't
writes stuff.
that part of it I never bought into. I do like some of his songs. I think are catchy and fun, but I don't I
If
don't
I'm
mind his
drunk,
voice, but I don't think of him as a good singer or anything.
if I'm drunk at the club and it's going and I'm already on the dance floor, sure.
Sure.
But it's not because he's singing.
Yeah.
It's because I'm already on the dance floor.
Right. It would take more effort to leave. Yeah.
Yeah. and most certainly because the clubs that I go to are usually packed.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
not really. They're just big boy clubs. So like, it's like a wall, but it's 10 people.
Right.
Like
effort nonetheless.
Yes, truly. I also I want to do an unpopular opinion about a voice that I love that everybody else is like they can do without.
Okay.
I think Nicki Minaj's singing voice is very good.
Oh, okay.
And like people don't like it. And I'm gonna say this, I love grand piano. I love it, and I'm not gonna take it back. Nicki Minaj, thank you for grand piano. Thank you for pills and potions. I think that your voice is nice. I'm not saying it's not the greatest of all time, and you know this, girl, but it is a nice voice. It doesn't deserve as much hate as it gets.
I like that song, Trinity Them Girls. That's pretty good.
Wow. Well, truffle butter on you.
That's where my Nicki heart lies. So I'll be honest with you. I don't even really know grand piano because before I could get to it, everybody had an opinion on it. I didn't want to participate. So yeah. I didn't, that's on Pink Print?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, I remember.
I love it.
I remember our third chair, Kevin, had an opinion on it. And I was like, well, she's trying something new. There ain't nothing wrong with that. And he's like,
Kevin, I love it. I'm sorry. I do. Yeah. I feel something about it and it's good. But I also hate my coworker's voice.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
I can't stand you and you make me sick.
Wow. Wow.
I'm so glad that I'm getting away from you and your incessant croning.
Gotcha.
And I hope I never have to experience you ever again. Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah. What about you? What voices can't you stand?
Okay. All right. So, I'm going to throw this out there. I know this doesn't really fall into the singing category that we're talking about, but I've always just wanted to say this out loud because I don't get it.
Yeah.
50 Cent. I can't.
Like, you don't get him?
I don't get his approach to rapping. The way he raps is not of any. I don't hear the talent. I don't hear the uniqueness. I don't hear the attitude.
But he's got nerve. I think the point is he had nerve.
I think. I
don't even think he's that. I don't think that it was that he was good. I think it was that he got shot 9 times.
He had a story. Yeah. He had a story, and his first song was a club anthem in 2004. Yeah. Like, you can find me in the club, whatever that was. But but then he like had some fame related to his music for a few more years, and I'm like, I don't hear it. I hear it when I hear Nas. I hear it when I hear Jay-Z. I don't hear it when I hear 50. And
honestly, a lot of those rap girls from the 2000s, I didn't see it for.
Yeah, just never got on board with.
Honestly, the only reason why I remembered Eminem is because it was so crazy and so white. Like, like that's the only reason why I feel like it stuck in my head.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of people on my no list from like singing side. I have a lot of people from like the rock side, but I think that has more to do with like hipsterdom and it's cool to hate on kind of thing.
But you don't like you like Chad Kroeger?
No. Okay. But that's because I think a lot of that is because of the.
Do you like Daughtry?
Daughtry, I would bottom for Daughtry. I fucking
really
his voice, and he's been produced and written for by Chad Kroeger. So he comes from that butt rock world, but It's Not Over is a fucking jam. Like his vocal run on. He's a great singer.
Is it his bald head that you like the most?
He makes it work. Not everybody can do that, but he's got a
good bald head.
He's got a great bald head.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like his voice. Even though a lot of people don't. Oh, okay. So again, more on the metal side. Miles Kennedy. Miles is the lead singer for the band Alter Bridge. He also fronted Slash the
Oh,
Snake
I
Pit.
love Alter Bridge.
Okay, so an Alter Bridge is the so Creed was a band, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of
I
people
didn't mind their voice.
that Scott Stapp, the lead singer of that, he was douchey, so he kind of fell into the Chad Kroeger aspect, like you maybe like him, maybe you don't. But the band, when the band broke up, created Alter Bridge with Miles Kennedy. So it's basically all of Creed except the lead singer. They have Miles. Miles's voice is very what's the word? Polarizing. He's got a polarizing voice because he has a very nasally voice.
Yeah.
He does like it does a lot of like that kind of stuff. Yeah, and he does it a lot of it to hit some of the crazy high notes that he does. And I don't know that I always like that approach to people's vocal techniques, but Miles, I think, does it really, really well, and I fucking love his voice. Yeah. So, Miles.
You know who I really love?
Who?
Breaking Benjamin. Whoever sings their songs.
Benjamin, the lead singer, is also the namesake.
There you go.
Benjamin, can't remember his last name.
Button. I don't know.
He's interesting because he got when they were getting big, he had a tongue piercing, and so he had this like kind of tenor to his voice when he was singing.
Yeah,
and that also was kind of polarizing the community. It's like, can you take your tongue ring out? We can't hear what you're saying. But
nobody can hear what Ariana is saying, but they love it.
They love that one. Oh my god.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, Ben's got a very of rock singers, he's got a more baritone voice. Mm-hmm. And when you figure out where you can sing, what's really great about that is that when you figure out your tone and you can harness that, that's great. But then also when you sing in baritone or tenor two, and you're not screaming and going for that high end, it makes it easier to have a career.
That's true.
Guns N' Roses is out there in their late 50s, early 60s right now.
Yeah.
And Axl Rose is trying to do Welcome to the Jungle, and it's like...
They shouldn't. They should do Welcome to, Shady Pines.
Yeah, Welcome to Shady Pines. Welcome to Margaritaville.
Welcome to the Golden Girls. It should get you some cheesecake. Sit down.
Chill out. I can't do a vocal episode. I know we're just spiraling now. I'm sorry. LaJauwn Witherspoon, lead singer of Seven Dust.
So this is a voice that might spark emotion in you.
Endlessly. Not unendlessly. Endlessly. Yes. Okay.
Oh my God, is your rod up for him?
Oh God, I can't right now. So I want to talk a little bit about. I want to talk about what it's like being white, Tim. Is that okay? So when
sweetheart, K through 12, we learned it.
So I think one stereotype that was kind of beaten into me with 90s media was that everyone who is Black can dance, can sing, and can carry rhythm, right? So this is something like
Chris Brown, yeah.
And that was something that I carried a lot with growing up and assuming about people. That was just something that could and would be done. And nowadays, when I listen to somebody like Nicole Byer, who openly talks about, she's like, I show up to things for auditions and they expect that I just can sing.
Yeah.
I can't sing. Mm-hmm. They expect that I can dance. I break my ankle. It's so kind of breaking those things.
I eat cheese and do comedy.
I eat cheese and do comedy, and that's about it. And I get paid a lot of money to do it.
Yeah. Nailed it.
But then you have somebody like LaJauwn, who there are a handful of black singers in rock and metal space these days. It's just not as common. And especially in the late 90s in new metal, they at least weren't in the popular mainstream. It just wasn't happening. And then LeJean comes on the scene, coming from Georgia, fronting an all-white band, one of who was rocking a rebel flag on his bass, which at the time was like, it was heritage, not hate, as some tattoos might say, right? Yeah.
How do y'all really feel about your tattoos nowadays? Like,
he got a new bass. Let's just say that. So, I think he eventually found out that was not the story to be telling.
Well, listen, now that we have the power, we're gonna get a lot of new basses. So
yes. But LeJean coming onto the scene, like their first song is called Black. It's about him being in the scene and fronting this white band in front of all these white people.
Yes, Hootie.
We're a little love. So LeJean, I don't know, like and they're still going strong 25 years later. They're still putting out albums I care about. His voice only gets better. This guy is early 50s and he just sounds and looks amazing. And
tell us more about the looks.
Oh god, oh my gosh. So I don't know that I can't. He's just so beautiful. He's so gorgeous. I remember so in 2013 I got to go see them with Lisa, our buddy Lisa. And she's a huge Seven Dust geek too. And we're in the pit. We are like one person behind like the front of the gate. We're like, hold on for dear life. We're like having a good time. And LeJean like whipped his head and the dreads went around. And I know some sweat hit us. And it was probably but it was also the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like, you know what I mean?
And then you hugged him.
And then I got to hug him at this past show. I got to meet him at the bar. He was by himself. I was like, what the fuck? Oh my God.
His scent rubbed up against you.
Oh my God. Everything rubbed up against me. It was so... I like to think that I'm not like a celebrity person, and then I realize who I am, So
at this time, I just want to let the listeners do what they do, which is find people and make this happen. I don't know if LeJean, is of the Legitipoquois community. But if he just wants to make someone happy for a couple hours.
Derek for my birthday got me a cameo of LeJean singing "Happy Birthday" to me.
But that's not good enough. I want body contact. I want. I'm not gonna say this.
Yeah. Okay. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate you backing
fluid
away.
exchange.
What's so is Jasmine your fangirl? Like, is that like even in your queerness? Like, is there somebody whose voice like gets you hot and bothered? Maybe that's the question I want to ask. You just saw how I reacted to LeJean. Like, how are you?
Is there there's not a voice or person, like, I don't know. I used to be the person that would be like, oh my God, I just met this person. Like, there was one time I saw Jamie Lee Curtis in a car and I was just like, oh my God. Yeah. But the older I get, the more I'm just like, I just want to like share space and we could chill. Like, I don't want to like be extra with them. I actually want to like know who they really are.
Bitch, that is so boring. Who do you want to fuck? Tell us. Come on now.
I don't. Girl, I thought I wanted to fuck, but he's not the right man for me. Oh. That was his name.
Yeah. I got it.
I'm trying to think. You know what? Avery Wilson.
Okay.
He's actually bisexual too.
Oh, okay. Nice.
If he wanted to sing to me and do things on me, then I would not turn him away.
I wouldn't say leave now.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, are there any, like, A-listers that if they were singing to me, I think I would be more embarrassed than, like...
What about this? In theory, what female singer could turn you? Or female presenting singer?
Honestly, Rihanna. And she's not even a singer. She's not a vocalist.
No.
But, like, Rihanna... listen. If Rihanna wants a girl, she should come to me.
No.
If you want a beautiful baby girl that we have to name Bonnie, with beautiful long hair that I will manicure perfectly.
Yeah, you will.
Every day. Just come to me and we can do that.
Let's put that out into the world. Yeah.
Yeah, like bring your strap on and we'll do this.
You know she pegs him.
She has at least a diamond encrusted one.
Woo!
A platinum one for every record that she's like.
And ASAP's like, yes, thank you, more, please.
Yes, because he's a rude boy.
That's something I don't think I can say, but thank you, Tim, for saying it.
So good. And you know what? He could be there to watch. I don't want any parts of him, but he could watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to make sure everything's going well.
Good for you, ASAP.
Like Rihanna, I'm trying to think. Like, no. There are people that I would love singing while I'm having sex with someone.
Sure.
Like I would love to have
Rihanna, yes, again.
No, I would immediately want her to join. But like, somebody like Samira Joy.
Okay.
She's like a jazz artist. I would love to have her singing as I'm like, oh, that would be so good.
Nice.
And like this is gonna be weird. But Sarah Bareilles.
Oh, while you're having sex?
While I'm having sex. Like her, is it called Beautiful Disaster? That album is just so like it's a song called Manhattan. You can have Manhattan. Like I just like that vibe. And
she gives me Gap jeans, so this is just different for me. Like
but it's not. I'm not talking about Write You a Love Song, Sarah Bareilles.
I mean, that's what I know her for.
Oh, I'm talking about She Used to Be Mine, Sarah Bareilles.
Okay,
like I'm talking about the writer.
Okay,
that, like, is deep about things. Well, she wrote love song, but that was only because she was mad at the people for wanting her to write a love song.
Right.
But yeah, like I speak her. And she's a good artist.
You speak who?
Cub and Chub.
And who?
Oh, I speak her.
You speak
I speak her name. Yeah. I do. I speak her name. Quite
you speak
honestly.
Who? Cub and Chub. Yes, you do.
Yeah, I speak Cub and Chub. Specifically Chub Moore. I speak his name. But no. Yeah. And I would like to have them like giving me a soundtrack of sex. Like that sounds that and Tank. That's who could sing me out of my pants. Like,
okay, yeah. I knew there was somebody out there.
But it's more the body. Like
yeah. That's also like, fine too.
Usher's not going to sing me out of my pants.
No. Okay. No.
But he can sing.
He can sing down. Man, that is somebody who like there's
Tyrese is not singing me out of my drawers. Like but he can sing.
Not drawers. That is something about like, and it might be like again, preferences to body type and things like that, but like Usher, who I know is presented as a sex symbol. Yeah. Because he does have a beautiful, sultry voice. Mm-hmm. But when I see him, I'm like, man, I really like your voice.
I think his face is gorgeous. I I think he's primitive sexy, but like I don't see him as a bed partner.
Yeah,
For
it's
me.
like, yeah, even like the boy band guys, like none of those people. I'm like, if it was a
I
boy
don't
band of
see-
bears, like we could talk about it depending on their voice, you know.
How do we not have a boy band of bears?
I'm sure there's
The
some
closest
YouTube.
we have is Lance Bass, and that's not giving.
No, it's nice. Thank you, but
Thank
no.
you for being the eligibility community, but like
Yeah.
it's not giving. It's
Yeah.
not giving anything I want in my mouth. Like
No.
Genuine, he could sing at my sexual events.
Yes, but
because my whole life and their whole life will be changed. But yeah, Tank can unhook my pants. He can. Specifically when he sings sex, love, and pain, I'm like, I want sex, love, and pain. I do.
Yes, please.
Choke me. Exactly. So Tank is the girl.
Tank gets it. Check. Tank.
Yeah.
Go.
But since we're gonna get off of this because I'm getting heated. Heated. What are some voices that you love, but they have music that you hate?
Oh wow. Voices that I love, but songs that I hate. There's
or like just in general, like all of their music is trash. So I'll give you an example. Jennifer Hudson.
Oh yeah.
Love her voice, hate her music.
Yeah. I think the only J Hud song I ever got into was that remix thing she did with David Guetta. She's on that big, and like that song is fine.
But that's his song, that's not hers.
It's his song, and it's probably one of the weakest on the album.
I'm not a big fan of Spotlight. I'm like, okay, okay.
No, it was supposed to be a cute bop for her to get on the radio, but it's not.
But when she said, "Don't let you hit me with my pocketbook," I said, "What?
Yeah.
What are we being given?
Yeah.
Give us something else. Find another way." I can't. So yeah.
How do you feel about her reputation as a belter? I
feel like she's loud. She is, but like that's her voice. She's loud. She is a speaker.
Also, one of the most unnecessarily rewrites and remixes on the Strange Loop Broadway. I get to the end of that album and I'm like, J Hud, why are you here?
Why is she at Memories?
Why and why this song?
It's just oh, I'm like, stop. See, y'all had to pull y'all's headphones away. It was too much.
No, when we went and saw that and she gets on screen and she gets to do Memories, I'm like, everybody plug your ears. This is going to be the loudest thing that ever happened to you. And it was.
Speaking of loud people, I want to shout out my big Anthony. When I first met him, like I was in DGC, Deliverance Gospel Choir, and he had came. He never had the key right, but if I gave him the key, he could project like none other.
Oh wow!
Like he is loud, like an album, like Rihanna's album. Shout out to Rihanna once again. For somebody who does not have a voice, she is getting a lot of play today.
Anyway. And that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, shout out to him. I just think of like when I think of loud voices, I think of him. As soon as you give him the right key, he's great. So shout out to you. He's a minister now. So
yeah.
I don't think he'll ever hear this because
no
Christianity, but shout out to you, sir.
Yes, Anthony.
But yeah, and there's one more that I can think of.
Okay.
Rachel Berry. I don't know her real name, because her music doesn't matter to me.
This is an interesting one because her music, don't care for.
Awful.
Everything she did in Glee, though.
Without You.
I like
It's
it.
so
I
good.
love it. Her voice in that presentation was perfect for what it was.
Also
Um,
on Broadway, she's really good.
she's a great. That's the thing. Like J Hud on stage is
Hmm.
not J Hud in the studio,
No.
and Rachel Berry. I can't believe I can't remember her name all of a sudden because Al loves to make fun of her all the time.
Well, her name is Rachel Berry from now on, so it is what it is. Because
um,
she was so good in that character, and she should have stayed.
yeah.
Because everything else after that went in the coffin with her ex. But
Well, I know she got dragged for her Beyonce stupidity, but did Carrie Hilson really have any bangers?
her voice was good too. Like she had a good pen, but she also like. There's a song that I love. Speaking of voices, I don't think are good. Timberland.
Oh.
Timberland had two albums.
Those.
The Shockwave 2 had one song called Timothy, Where Have You Been?
Oh God.
I love that song.
Yeah, you do.
But she does background vocals on that.
Oh, okay.
She does a
Yeah,
lot of background vocals on a lot of people's stuff. Like, if it wasn't for her, the Blackout album would not be what it is today from
yeah,
Britney Spears.
yeah.
But yeah, she has a wonderful voice, a beautiful voice. And I really appreciate that's and listen, it's not the same. I don't treat her in the same light as I treat like mm, Kanye West.
Okay.
I treat her as somebody who she made a mistake.
Yeah, she stumbled.
She said the wrong thing to the wrong people on the wrong
She spoke
stage.
her truth at the time, and
Yeah.
people weren't ready for that.
And I still listen to her albums. So I still listen to it. I still gave her some coins.
Yeah.
I'm still streaming her. So I hope that she comes out with some music soon, seeing as Beyonce is out of the stratosphere at this point. Like
Yeah.
she could not care less about this woman. So
No.
let's forgive her. Let's let her come out with some music, people.
Carrie, we forgive you.
Yes. I mean, at least Cub and Chub forgive you. I can't speak for,
Yeah.
the Reed or
Or the Reed. Or the Reed.
or any other. I don't speak for all Black people. I just speak for myself.
That's right. I try not to speak for Black people whenever I can. I really try not to.
You should never. You should always speak for Saltville.
Saltville. Oh, Timothy. Did you have any, as we wrap up, did you have any other like questions you want to get at?
Well, I wanted to ask you finally, what are some voices that ended up surprising you?
Surprising me. Okay. Daniel Johns. He is the lead singer of a band called Silverchair. They are no longer together, but they are probably the most influential group like that I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
They were my age, and they had the number one album in the world at age 14.
Wow.
So I latched on to them because they were my age and they were huge stars.
Yeah.
But as Daniel got older and became more of a talented composer, his voice also changed because literally he got famous when he was 14 and his voice changed.
Yeah.
He did a couple things where he started really working with his falsetto, and he has like this I would say R&B influenced solo album he did a couple years ago where he really like tests out his falsetto.
Mm-hmm.
That's really unique. It's not like the most beautiful voice in the world, but it is somebody demonstrating growth.
Yeah.
Somebody who was writing basic blues rock songs and is now really working as a vocalist through electronic music and a bunch of other mediums. So Daniel Johns, his stuff with Silverchair is some of my favorite music, but it is because I was young, which is fine. But his whole catalog is kind of fun if you're interested in listening to that kind of voice.
Yeah.
And somebody else that surprised me. You know what? I'm gonna shout out Jack Black, my twin. Jack Black,
Your doppelganger.
my doppelganger. Because in Thailand I am Jack Black. Literally.
I mean, as long as you can get coin for it, you might.
If I get paid to be Jack Black in Thailand and get free taxi rides, I'm gonna do
it.
Okay. Take a picture with me, Jack Black. Okay. Yes, sir. So Jack Black, who really got to be known as a comedian to the world, and his kind of jokey joke. He's a comedian. He also has a funny band called Tenacious D that is musical, but also very grotesque and weird. But through all of this, people just keep recognizing that he kind of has a really great voice. Like, as it get through, if you can get through kind of the raunchiness and the randomness of it, you're like, oh, this guy can like carry a tune and has like kind of a beautiful voice. And him and Kyle Gass, his Tenacious D guitarist, had a moment last year where they had a viral moment with they did a cover of Chris Isaak's Wicked Games that went viral. And it's a little minute like snippet of the song, but people were like, what the fuck? Jack Black is so sexy. And it's like a dad in surfboard short, like,
yeah,
the gangliest beard, but the wicked games we play. It's like, oh, Jack Black. So that surprised me. Like, he kind of came through with that voice, and I'm like, get it, Jack. We share a lot of similarities in some areas, but that voice, I'm like, you could get it. You get it, twin. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you? Who surprised you?
You know, there are a lot of like comedians that have great voices, like Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, he's a multi-hyphenate. He's
like, I don't know. He's other like he. Yeah. Shout out to him. I'm glad he's doing much better. Yeah, like he has a great voice. I think that Sean Wayans might have a great voice.
Oh, okay.
I think I heard him sing once and it was good. But a voice that really surprised me was Billie Eilish.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, I was not expecting this skater boy-esque girl to like come out and have such a like sultry and jazz infused kind of like voice. It sounds beautiful. The song, what is the song called? She's talking about she's in love with her future or something like that. Maybe it's called In Love with My Future. But like, it's so good. She has, you know, some really good technical ability to her voice. And then Orville Peck.
Yes.
Like, this masked little white boy, I was like, oh, another Sam Smith. But like, no, he, you know, a gimmicky white boy. Like, it's just like, he came like, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, not the real Elvis that we needed. Not just that man who stole all the black music, but like, he's got some talent.
Yeah, Trixie knows what she's doing.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
It sounds really good. And Renee Rapp, which she just came out with, I don't know if it's an EP or album, but it's just really good. She wrote most of the songs, if not all. And her voice is just really good. Like, it's really a solid, good voice.
Yeah. Okay.
It really surprised me. So
nice.
Those voices. Yeah, and Nicki Minaj surprised me. I know that
she surprises us.
You don't want to support me in that, but
whatever. No. I'm a Barbie girl, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, and I mean, for nothing, Trixie Mattel's voice is nice.
Trixie does her lane pretty well.
Yeah, like she has. Listen, it could be much worse. I've had drag queens that are much worse.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad voice. I don't think it's incredibly special.
It's very folk.
It's folky, yeah. And she does that lane really, I thought, pretty well. She's dropped some dance music where I'm like, I don't need this.
No, I didn't need that Hello song.
No, that's not what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you have the money to do what you want and
Yeah.
do it, but I'll come back later when you're back in your lane.
Yeah. And I want to tell this story.
Okay.
In which I surprised. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to say his name or not. I'm not. So years ago in college, I was singing in one of the choruses that that Doc had, right? Doc is a music director person at our college.
Yep.
I was in. I was not in Magical Singers. It was the next one down. So they were singing a Negro spiritual, and said person just knew they were going to get the solo.
Oh.
And because they always do, right?
Yeah.
It was specifically two people always got solos. It was them two. One was a girl, one was a boy. I don't know if they still identify as a boy, but at the time they identified as a boy. And he was just very confident that he was going to get it. And I don't know what got into me. Maybe the 30-year-old me jumped back in those times and was like, you don't get everything you want. And I'm just going to show you that you're not going to get it. And he did his audition for it, and Doc was like, yes, amazing, like clear cut, knew what he was going to give and everything, had practiced with Doc the whole time, knew what he was going to give. However, you didn't know I was going to open my mouth that day. And I did not practice with Doc. I did not get any practice with anybody. But I opened my mouth. And at the end of that, Doc was like, I mean, I have to. And
nothing else can be done.
Mouth was agape. And right. On that day, I let him know that he's not the only person that can, hold a tune in a bucket.
That's right.
And I just, it just, look at people. There's always going to be somebody who can do things better than you.
And usually it's 10.
No. I'm just better at details than most people, apparently. But yeah, there was a couple of times that I had to just remind him that if I wanted to, I could.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
You just have to remind people, or just let people know that they're not the only one.
Yeah, it keeps them on their toes, right? Keeps them working hard.
I was like, you're number 2.
When I want you to be.
Yeah, like, when I don't want to, then you're number 1.
Right.
But I'm always going to be the first called. But shout out to you.
That white boy?
Yeah.
That white boy?
Yeah. He just knew. He knew he was going to have that. And he came to DGC. That's when I first met him. He came to DGC. Wow. And then, like, Doc told him that he needs to stop going to that because his voice was going to be damaged.
The caucasity to think that you are, wow.
Yeah. And there was a lot of times like that I had to just sit him down quietly. Like, there was a song, My Lord, What a Morning. He just thought that he was going to be that girl. Yeah. And I let people be most times.
Sure.
But there's a sense of entitlement sometimes that I get tired of seeing. And I just have to let people know that I do have the ability.
Yeah.
I'm just lazy. Like, And thank God for my laziness, because you would never have nothing. Like,
You never get anywhere.
you wouldn't know what type of personality you could have. And I did, oh shit, I had so much to talk about.
What you got?
What voice? Okay, so we talked a lot about voices. So I'm just gonna say this.
Okay.
Because of the time I was in choir, I happened to like learn like that there were different voice ranges. I
Okay.
didn't know. So as a church person, you grow up and you're like, when you're a kid, you're all altos, unless you have some good, like all the girls are sopranos, all the boys are basically altos, and we call them tenors, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you grow up and you're a man, you're a tenor. Like it is what it is. But when I got into the choir, they were like, "Oh, well, there's tenor one, tenor twos, about baritones and basses." I found that I'm in love with basses.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get in my drawers, just hit the lowest note you can, and we'll see how it rolls. I hate it. I don't like tenor twos
Mm.
because barbershop.
Okay.
I don't like tenor twos because barbershop allows them to have a lot of melody
Okay.
that is sounds weird to me.
Okay.
Wah, 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 wah. Like it's ugh. All of that bothers me.
Okay.
Um and I just feel like if you're not a tenor two, tenor one, or bass, you just get thrown into baritone. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people just get thrown into baritones. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you kind of get called a baritone if you don't have a true. It's the catch-all. Baritone is
Yeah.
catch-all. So, yeah.
Do you have a specific range that you love to hear?
No, I not in particular. I'm a base one tenor two kid,
Mm.
so I'm a tenor two. So apparently you don't like me. So I don't really
I
know where to
don't
go with
like you, I
that.
love you. It's
I
different.
know. I
I don't
know.
love you because of your voice range. I love you because of what you do with it. You are an
Oh,
amazing singer. I
thank you.
enjoy your vocals. I enjoy your writing, which we'll talk about another day, writers that we love.
Yeah.
Um and oh shit, the one voice that really surprised me out of the Mickey Mouse Clubby people,
Uh huh.
Jessica Simpson.
Oh, okay.
That girl can sing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I know people don't know this, but
Yeah. I'm not aware of her
she was
voice.
a great singer. Like the song that she came out with, "I wanna love you forever." She originally did it in an octave higher, and they
Mm,
told her that she needed to do it an octave lower so that people could like
relate.
compatibility, so people could
Yeah.
sing it on the radio. She has a wonderful voice. Shout out to her. If I ever meet her, then I'll ask her for some shoes. But other than that,
That's right. You figure out your lane.
she has a great voice. But yeah, so that's all that I wanted to get through today. And I'm not good at producing, so we're gonna go back to you.
All right. So let's see here.
Normal.
Do you have a shout out?
No.
Okay, I don't either. Let's take a second.
Okay. I want to shout out. Who didn't I talk about on this thing? Okay, I got it.
I got one too. Do you have what's making you live? Let's get that ready now too.
Um,
Okay, I got mine.
okay, I got it.
You ready? Okay.
Yeah.
So, Tim, you got any shout outs this week?
Yes, I love when you ask me the questions. I speaking of voices, I wanted to shout out Summer Walker. She just
Mm.
has like a unique voice that I really love. Um, and she has music that I listen to almost daily. So shout
Oh,
out to you,
nice.
girl. Like, I love you so
Nice.
much.
Good
What about
stuff.
you?
I want to shout out the Virginia Pride organization. So this past weekend, the Virginia Pride weekend kind of got rained out.
Oh,
They did their things on Friday and Sunday, but the big festival on Saturday that I was going to be DJing had to be delayed to a later date.
mhm.
And they had to scramble. They had to make announcements. They did a bunch of stuff to try to get people who were in the festival, like doing other smaller market stuff to like still get the vendors. Like these
Yeah,
vendors planned on, making money that day and now they couldn't.
yeah.
So I just want to shout out Virginia Pride because Marquise and everybody over there, you guys are amazing.
Mm. And
And
shout out to Z Machine. Oh my
yeah,
God.
Z Machine was playing at Godfrey's. I think it was at Godfrey's last night.
Yeah, I love his music. So
Yeah.
good. Marquise, let him know that I said hey.
Uh-huh. Put in a good word for our baby Tim here.
Yeah,
But yeah, shout out to everybody at VA Pride, and I'm sure it wasn't an easy decision, but you guys are doing a great job. So thank you so much.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The eligibility community thanks you.
Not the eligibility. Tim, you got what's making you live this week?
Foot scrubs. So
Ooh.
I bought things to do a pedicure on Amazon Les Besos. And because I had a pedicure maybe a week ago, and the girl really did absolutely nothing. It was
Yeah.
bare minimum. At least my nails got cut, but when I tell you she was poking at my feet, I was like, girl, this was nothing. So I got the stuff, and I'll be doing it as soon as I get off this thing. So I'm living for that, living for
Nice.
that moment. It's all peppermint scented. It's cute.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yes. What about you? What you living for?
I'm living for the two shows I got to see this week. So the first show was Foo Fighters. I got to see the Foo Fighters on Tuesday with my dad.
Yes.
It was
Oh
um,
no.
yeah, I got to see them, and it's one of those things like you forget how many songs they have.
Yeah.
And so you're like there for 2.5 hours and everybody's just singing for 2 hours. So got to see that with my dad, who continues to prove to me that he is younger than I am. Because, by the time it gets to about 10:30, 11, your boy Bear is ready to go to bed. And I look
It's
to
the
my right and
alcohol.
dad's like, pump. Dad is jumping up and down like he's
Yeah.
doing a Zumba class. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sitting here like, oh my God.
It's
So
the
it
alcohol.
was also really fun to see him like let loose and like have a good time.
Yes. Let loose. Yes.
Let, let loose. So there's that.
I love you, Dad.
Love you, Dad. So I got to see Foo Fighters, and then last night I got to see Patton Oswalt. He did a comedy show here in Richmond. Patton is he's one of those guys that if you saw a picture of him, he's the other guy in like every single TV show or movie you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Really great stand-up comedian, and he played this really small show here in Richmond.
Mm.
And yeah, so got to check him out, and that was a lot of fun. So got to see a bunch of really good live shows this week. So
Yes. Shout out to them.
yeah,
I just want to do an extra shout out to Editor Bear / Producer Bear. That shit ain't for me. So we're going to go back to regular scheduled programming.
okay.
Because I'm sure as he edits this, it's going to be a time. So
You did a great job today. I thought you did great.
it hurt. It really did.
You got to flex the muscle, but you did a good job.
My spirit was slightly decrepit.
Sometimes you just got to take the reins. Like Tim, where can people find us?
Tim, they can find us inside of me. Because that's where you find the sadness, the the poverty, the tank, hopefully one day.
Mm-mm.
And especially at cubandchub.com.
That's right. You can find us at cubandchub.com. You can also send us an email at wearecubandchub@gmail.com. Again, that's wearecubandchub@gmail.com. Tim, as always, it's so nice to see you.
Well, it's lovely to see you too.
Everybody, enjoy your week. We'll talk to you next time, okay?
We love you. Go wash your hair and make sure you pay attention to details if you say you can pay attention to details. Bye.